story since we talking funny. So you know how back in the day, and hey, they probably still do it. You know how back in the day they used to be like, you marry this African for some money. I almost did it. Seriously.
Yo, 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 welcome to the Black Club. I'm your host and founder of the show, bnote. Today I got a special guest with me. She's an author, she's a digital creator, a rising public figure, the founder of Educated Girls Rock, and two-time
Yes.
Mother of the Year, Miss Nisha Glenn.
Thank you. Thank you. That was an amazing intro. I do want to correct two kids. Let's say two adults. These kids are grown now. So,
Yeah, I
oh,
feel that. I got
that's
teenagers, so mine the same way.
oh, really? So
Very.
you're almost done.
What inspired you to come up with Educated Girls Rock?
So, what inspired me to come up with Educated Girls Rock is twofold. I am going to share one of the reasons why, besides the other one, because the reason I'm going to share with you is because it's one that I really don't normally share with a lot of people. And then we talked about my kids who are currently now adults now, but it all started with him. I moved to Georgia back in 2010 when he was in the first grade.
Okay.
And he's an African American boy who had behavior issues in school. So I always got calls, come up to the school, your baby is acting up, blah, blah, blah. And so what happened was they put him on what we call an IEP, which is an individualized educational plan. Have you ever heard of that before?
Well, sort of. My oldest was kind of on a little behavior plan, so I
A
kind of
little,
know what
we
you're talking
always,
about.
I always talk about look, like my son was on a big behavior plan. That stuff
Yeah.
was crazy. But anyway, so they put him on that, and every time I would go up to these schools and talk to the counselors and the teachers and the principals, I would be in this room and I would be quiet. I would be
Okay.
uncomfortable. I didn't have a voice, and I would be intimidated. I didn't know what they were talking about, and pretty much I just agreed with everything they said that they needed to do for my child. I was uneducated to that particular sector. So at that time, I'm like, I'm tired of feeling this way. He's only in the first grade. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
We got a long way to go from K through 12. So I need to, get myself together so I can understand this language. So I decided I wanted to enroll in school to get my degree at the time, a master's in education, just to familiarize myself more with the educational system. So
Okay.
that's what inspired it. So by me going to school, in school to get my master's in education, I'm all like, Educated Girls Rock too. And I want to be and feel more confident when I go to these meetings. And guess what? Now, while he was in school, I would go to all the meetings. I would lead the meetings. I would tell them what you're going to do with my child. So that was
Mm,
one of the reasons why I decided to start the organization, along with just helping other young girls as well navigate while they're on their educational journey, but also educating myself as well, because I was an educated girl that rocks, and I wanted to learn more about the educational system to not only help my son, but also to help other women and other mothers as well navigate through that process.
that's what's
So yeah.
up. How
Yeah.
important is education?
Me personally, and I hope everybody thinks this, education is very important. And one thing I want to tell people, education is not just about us going to school,
Right.
getting an education, graduating, going to higher education, going to college. Education is something that we learn every day. It's an art. It's something
Yes.
that's you're teaching yourself and you're learning, and it's something that nobody can ever take away from you. Like we just talked about how I just learned this new platform. It's something you learn, and guess what? When we're done, I want to learn it too.
Right.
That's education. So it's very important. It's something that you've earned, and it's something that you work for, and it's something that you learned.
That's what's up.
I
Um,
think it's very
I had read that your family didn't really graduate. How was that for you growing up, and how did you overcome that? Yo, check out my new store, the Black Club Store. We've got men's clothes, women's clothes, kids' clothes, even got playing cards for you spades players out there. You can even get a Black Club pet bowl for you pet owners. We love the pets too, and we're still growing. So there'll be more to come. You can go to the Black Club website at theblackclubpodcast.com and click on the Black Club store. The link is also in the description. So head on over to the Black Club store and get your Black Club gear today.
So I grew up in an environment where education was not important. The other twofold of why I started Educated Girls Rock is because, briefly, I was the first person in my family to graduate high school. Normally, you hear about first generations graduating from college,
Right.
but I very seldom, and I'm serious, you very seldom hear about first person graduating from high school. So my mother dropped out of school at 15, 16, daddy, grandmothers, grandfathers, sisters, brother, aunties, uncles. So I was supposed to be a product of that particular environment. But I feel like I was the chosen one. It was time for me to break the cycle and that generational curse that had been put on my family to make education more important within my generation and making sure my daughter, my son, my little cousins, my nieces break that cycle and graduate from high school. So I grew up in an environment where education just wasn't a big thing. So I kind of just navigated through the way. And then I ended up getting pregnant. That's why I'm an advocate for teen mothers, because when I got pregnant, I was like, okay, I still need to walk across this stage. I still need to graduate. And I told myself that I was not going to drop out of school. So it worked out that I was still able to overcome that particular adversity and graduate high school, being that I didn't have an educational foundation.
What's up?
So yeah,
Okay. Why is it important for the parents, not only just the kids, but the parents to also educate themselves?
Honestly, because of me, my son was able to graduate high school. Because of me, my daughter was able to graduate high school. And like I have this program called Fight to Focus. It's an initiative that I run with the girls I work with. And in part of the initiative, we talk about accountability. We talk about being accountable for your own educational journey. And just to give you twofold, one of the reasons why I feel us as parents need to be educated, because when your child is in school, they can only do so much with your child.
Yes.
As far as the counselors, the principals, their friends. So they're going to come to mom and daddy like, okay, mom and daddy, what do I need to do? So just being able to understand how many credits your child needs to graduate, the type of classes they need to take, and different things like that. So we want to be educated as parents so we can help our children as well as any other family member, friends. So, I mean, you have to be. It's a must. It's mandatory. Yeah. And I feel sorry for like just even a lot of kids, especially at risk children that don't have advocates in reference to parents that can kind of help them just navigate. So when we grow up as parents, what is our number one goal? Our number one goal is to raise our children to be better. One of the reasons is to not make the mistakes that we made and to be better than we are, right?
Yeah.
With the resources, the tools, these platforms, social media that we have now, it's like we can teach ourselves, we can advocate for ourselves, we can see and be inspired by other people. Where we are now, I'm just so proud of the generation that I see now, the kids, the young women, the young men, how they're just elevating and growing with everything that we have going on.
So how do you feel about the influence that hip hop has on this younger generation?
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
Get it sexy. Get it sexy. Oh my God. So it has a major influence. It has major influence. It does. So I'm glad we talking about this because I think it's important. So I did a workshop at an elementary school a couple months ago.
Okay.
When a lady called me and asked me, could I do it? I'm like, I don't normally work with young students like that. But I'm like, she's like, oh, well, Educated Girls Rock, I feel like you can blah, blah. So I, created something. That's, one thing about me. You call me, you need me to do something. I'm going to create and I'm going to come and show up and show out.
That's what's up.
So one of the things that I did with these young girls, I had to create something that they can relate to. So I did a presentation workshop on 5 women. I chose, of course, Michelle Obama. I chose Beyonce. I chose May. I forgot her name. She was the first astronaut to go into space. I chose
Oh,
her, and I chose 2 other people. Well, it was maybe like 10 girls in the room. So when I went through their credentials about their educational background, Beyonce in specifically, she was homeschooled, but she didn't go to college. But of course, we know she's a entertainer, a multi-millionaire, billionaire, got all these accolades. But
right.
what I did was broke down to them why education was important to her. She had to go to school to learn how to dance. She had to go to singing coaches and learn how to control her voice. I had to instill in them that's education. And the reason I did that is because when I went around the room and asked them, out of all the women that inspired you, who inspired you the most? And do you know, out of 10 of them girls, like maybe half of them said Beyonce, because she didn't go to college.
Wow.
That was the reason why. And I'm like, you don't have to go to college to be successful. However, you do need an education. And I just tried to
Yeah.
explain to them
Yeah.
everything Beyonce did is part of education because she's learning. She had to learn to do this thing. So I just wanted to instill in them that learning is a part of education.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I do my little research when I be doing this show, right? And
Oh Lord, what you find?
for
What you find?
the black community, we last in basically every category when it comes to education. How do we fix that?
So what is the quote? It's not a quote, it's a saying. It says, if you wanted people to not know something, what do you do and what do you put it in?
A book.
A book.
Yep. Yep.
So I say all that to say that's why I love reading. I love educating myself, even though we have social media and all this other different things. But I think reading is so fundamental because there's a lot of different things in books that we cannot even see
Yes.
or read. And this guy I met, my friend's
Yes.
husband, listen to this. He did an analogy and an exercise with some boys. I think he
Okay.
said these were like middle school boys, right? He said he had a shelf. He put a basketball, he put a book, and I think he said he put a baseball or football. And he asked each boy to go up there. It was like a couple different things. Everybody went up there and grabbed everything but the book. And guess
Of
what?
course.
His message was he asked them why they picked the certain things, and he said nobody picked this book. Nobody picked the book. When he got the book, he opened it up. Guess what was in the book? $200.
That's why they put everything in a book because they know we ain't gonna read it.
Exactly. And I think that we need to really increase our literacy programs for students
Right.
and really, allow them to read. And I think that's how we can educate ourselves more by reading more.
How do you make
Okay.
education popular? Because a lot of people really don't like to talk about this type of stuff.
And I know it's being repetitive and we're continuing to talk about it, but it's learning. So we have to make it fun.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I did because I'm in the educational sector and I also do technology and cybersecurity, I recently did a study and I said, what is the educational trend going to be like in the next, I say 10 years? And do you know it came up and said everything is going to be online? We have to be more creative in teaching our students virtually with e-learning, with books online. Just the whole platform with online learning is about to skyrocket. So now we as a generation, and even with your children, we just have to be now creative now to incorporate that educational sector within online learning and making it more creative. Because if you look at where statistically everything is going online. Learning
Yeah.
is going online. Like I'm taking classes now online. I'm getting certifications online. But to be honest with you, I learn better in person. I'm
Right.
a hands-on learner. Some people are visual learners, some people, like to hear, but I like doing. So when we are creating these online learning webinars or different things, we have to make it engaging and interactive in order to keep each other's attention. Because to be honest with you, I think I got adult ADHD. If you don't hold my attention, if
Right.
you don't hold
Hey,
my
I
attention,
get bored easy.
you, I know I do.
Mm,
That's with movies. Like if I start a movie, what about you? If you start a movie, does it have to grab your attention within the first 5 or 10 minutes?
it got to. If it's comedy, it got to give me something funny. If it's action, I got to see some action scene.
And because I'm that type of person, when I create, I at the beginning, I got to be able to grab your attention. So that's what I'm saying about learning and incorporate education. We have to now start making it more fun. We have to incorporate the rappers,
Yeah,
the singers,
yeah.
the social media, all that. We have to now incorporate all this stuff into it, because now this next generation of kids, we're gonna lose them if we don't.
They already almost gone.
They are, but
It's,
we
it's,
that's why we're here. And
that's what I'm
we
trying to
gonna
do. I'm trying to bring them back, but it's hard. It's
we can
hard.
only do so much. And guess
Yeah,
what? But we both know it takes a village and a tribe, right?
yeah.
We can't do it alone.
We got to do it together.
I would love to come to Dallas. I am going to come to Dallas so I can talk to whomever you feel
Man,
like.
all right, I'm gonna have to. That's an invitation too when I get back.
No, it's stamped. I
Okay,
agree. Accept it. RSVP.
I got you. I got you.
No, seriously.
Speaking of social media, you see a lot of the platforms now, a lot of the podcasts, they talk about the same stuff, right? Basically like relationships and black men this, black men that, black women this, black women that. What's your thoughts on that?
It's so funny you said that. I haven't even shared it, but let me see if I can find my. I don't know. Did I tell you so? I haven't told you. So it's so funny because when I was thinking about podcasts, I was like, I just started this self love journey that I'm on in
Mhm.
reference to, myself, just loving myself, dating myself, and doing different things, just for me. But I recently got laid off a couple months ago, right? And when I got laid off, I got confused. There was a lot of confusion, a lot of different clarity issues when it comes to my career, where I want to go. I'm like, I got all these degrees, I have all of this knowledge, I have this certification, and I'm like, I'm stuck. What am I going to do? So I decided that I wanted to start a podcast,
Okay.
and it's going to be called Cap and Career Chronicles.
Okay.
And it piggies back on what you said. It talks about when we graduate high school, while we're in school, what is the next step? How could we navigate our career journey after we graduate high school? And one of the things I want people to know, and like even the girls and the young boys I talk to, I don't know about you, and I will ask you while we were talking, what I wanted to be when I graduated high school. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. But sometime with life and this curve and this journey, you
Yeah.
just never know where you're going to end up. And it's okay to start off at one thing when you graduate. You may start off as a teacher. Then 3 years later, you know what? I don't really want to do this. I want to go back to school. I want to become a nurse. Just in life, it becomes boring. Who wants to do the same thing while you're living? So
Right.
just being able to navigate that, and that's what I want to talk about, just interviewing girls and even guys, like, okay, when you graduate, what was your educational journey? What did you go to school for? And just letting these kids know it's okay to not have it all figured out, but at least have a plan and something and some resources and tools that's going to be able to just guide you in a direction. Because to be honest with you, I'm real heavy on skill sets right now.
Yeah.
We have you being able to do this and just navigate this process. That's a skill set. So I'm all about learning new skill sets every chance we get, because I think skill sets can help you along your career journey in
Yeah.
so many different assets. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
I agree. I think, but especially with this, because it's not easy. A lot of
No,
people think it's just putting on a camera and recording and going about it, but it's a lot to it. Especially like being on my side of it, having to ask you questions and being able to give feedback, and you know what I'm saying. I have to think about what you're gonna say next and what you're saying at the same
and then
time, and
keep it engaged and not
yeah,
you don't want to ask the wrong thing, but you want to create that
yeah,
content and that dialogue, especially intellectual conversation.
right, right. And
So
it's an art to it. I had to learn that. It took me like I've been doing this for like over a year before I even started recording. I was researching,
yeah,
making sure.
learning from you.
Yeah, I was doing like all of this. I was researching topics, CPMs, how to, the business side of it, all of that stuff,
Yes.
algorithms, because the data that means a lot too. It's a lot.
Oh, it means a whole
Oh,
lot.
it's a
And
lot too.
what I love about what you're doing in your podcast, the Black Club, is for us.
That's
It's for the
it.
people.
That's it.
It's and we gotta put as much media out there as we can in a positive light
Yeah.
because it's so much negative things that are currently out there right now that our kids and even adults are seeing. But and like you said with the algorithm, I've been working on changing my algorithm. I don't want to see twerking up my feed anymore. I don't want to see
Yeah.
the news negative. I'm seeing now more podcasts, more business things, more quote, more things when it comes in relation to God and different things like that. So even just letting our audience know you can control your feed. And guess what? Whoever came up with the algorithm, thank you. Because at one point we couldn't control it. We could. It was like it was
Mm-mm.
fair game.
Yeah. Right.
Yo, we was being fed with so much stuff where we was getting confused. So I'm thankful that now I can control what I see and what feeds my spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You
look, funny story since we talking funny. So you know how back in the day, and hey, they probably still do it. You know how back in the day they used to be like, you married this African for some money. I almost did it. Seriously.
Do you have a brand or a business that you would like to promote? Drop by the club. Let us share your story your way. Go to the Black Club website at theblackclubpodcast.com and click on Be a Guest. The link will also be in the description. Let us see what kind of magic we can create together.
I swear I almost did it. Why are you laughing? Because
Nah,
it's real.
look.
We being real. We being real, right?
Okay, you want to be real? I used to work at this warehouse, right? I had
Okay.
this African coworker, and he wanted to. His visa was running out, so he needed somebody, to be a mediator for him to find him a woman. And so I found, I I don't know if I should be saying this part right here, but
No,
I found him
this is being
somebody.
honest.
I found him somebody, what I'm saying? He paid me for it, paid her for it, and I don't know if he's still here or not, but it was a
You did your job, right?
pretty good exchange. Yeah.
Oh my God. So that's why you laughing because you can relate.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I could yeah.
No, and you know what? That's why I just thank God because decisions are very important. And I was going to do it. I didn't the money that came with it. And let me
Hey,
tell you why. Let me tell you why I didn't do it.
they be
It
paying.
was because
They be paying. He paid her more than me.
what do they?
What?
I was gonna be hood rich. But let me tell you why the main reason I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I didn't do it is because of my social media.
Okay. Okay.
And that's when you think about other people. I'm at a point in my life where I don't really, not saying I don't value the opinion of other people, but I don't like your value or your opinion of me, you know,
Yes.
of who I am. But now I probably would do it. Now I just play. But no, that's the reason why I do it, because I didn't feel like changing my last name. I didn't feel like putting pictures up of me and him because you got to show some pictures like y'all
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. You got to
You
go
got,
through with it.
I was like,
Yeah.
when I saw what you gotta do all that, I was like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do it. So
So
I
would you
wasn't even
change it?
scared.
You don't want to change your last name when you get married?
Oh, I'm definitely changing my last name when I
Oh.
get married.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
But I'm just saying, my last name would have been Okabaka, whatever that man's last name was. I just didn't feel like doing all that. At the time, I just didn't feel like doing
I
everything
got you.
that came with it.
You
So yeah,
you follow the election,
definitely.
right? Okay. So this is my opinion.
No.
The reason why they
Okay.
open up the borders, okay,
Yeah.
every 4 years, you have to have a black vote, right?
Oh yeah,
Who has the most buying power in the United States? Black people, right?
we do.
Okay, so if you bring over all these people, You turn them into citizens, who they gonna vote for? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now, if you look at it, you don't need the black vote. After a while, you're not gonna need the black dollar. And what are they doing? Slowly but surely taking away everything about our culture, our history, everything
Yeah.
slowly.
And I like that perspective. And I totally understand that and agree. When we look at the type of jobs that most immigrants have, it's jobs that we really don't want.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, of
I mean,
course. I mean, a
so
lot of us ain't
we
gonna be
think
on,
that
the side of the road doing that in that heat. You know
we,
what I'm
we,
saying?
we barely even want to work like that. So we all like,
We ain't finna
you
be.
gotta
Hey.
come over here and take it.
So,
We tired.
a lot of the jobs that he was talking about to
Yeah,
me,
we don't even want, we don't
nah.
want. But I'm
So
so thankful that our culture, our community, the black people, we are now in a era where we are now creating our own jobs.
yeah,
So that's what I love most about where we are right now,
yeah, yeah.
in the creativity that we as black people are really, really creating our own ways, our own paths, our own lanes, our own black jobs, for that matter.
Do you think we helping each other though?
Honestly, can I be honest?
Oh, that's what this for.
No, no. What about you?
Uh-uh.
So
Nope.
let me
And that's
I,
the problem.
let me. Ooh, I was on a podcast a couple months ago, and the guy asked me, "What do I like about being black?" I can answer that all day long. I say, "No, ask me what I like about not being black." And he was like, "Oh, I never asked nobody that." I said, "Well, let me tell you why I want to answer what I don't like about being black." And it is exactly what we just pivoted to and talked about. We don't help each other.
Yep.
That's the only thing that I
Yep.
really wish that we would come together, unite, and just help each other more. That's it. That's the only thing I don't like.
No unity at all.
Nope.
Because if you think
Mm-mm.
about it, if we came together, we already got our own military. We already got our own resources. You know what I'm saying? Because hell, if you look at the gangs, uh Crips, Bloods, folks, and Vice Lords, hell, that's our military base right there.
So it disciples,
Army,
you know,
Navy, Marines, and what's the other one? Air Force.
on cross.
And you
Yeah.
got
And then you got
Crips,
Crips,
Bloods,
Vice
folks.
Lords, disciples. I'm from East St. Louis, so we was considered Vice
Vice
Lords.
Lords in St. Louis, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I agree. That's the only. I just really wish that we, as a culture, would just help each other more because we already are in an environment where it's hostile and we already have negativity with us just because of the
Yeah.
color of our skin. And so I just really wish that we all can come together and help each other. And like, when it comes, the crazy part, you being a guy and agree, I'm a girl and agree. So it's like we're experiencing it on both ends from
Right.
females
Right.
and males. And we like, y'all, like, you all have so many strikes, one being black and an African American man. So it's even harder. Like, to be honest with you, and it's just me just speaking because when I go and look for like different grants or different funding to kind of help me with my business,
Yeah.
I never really see it for y'all.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like,
Look,
why are our black men being left out of things that can
everything.
possibly not only help you all, but definitely I feel if you all get it, you all are going to help us and pour into us. So I don't know why there is a gap when it comes to men on business. We hear women on business every day, all day, but there's a gap when it comes to that needs to be fixed.
Yeah. But the problem is a lot of the men are going for sports and entertainment.
What we just talked about in that
Hmm.
that analogy I gave you to go and you pick the book, you pick the instrument, the entertainment, but nobody is picking the book. You're
Nope.
right.
Nobody's picking the doctor, the lawyer. That's boring now. That's not what's popular. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to shoot a hoop or throw a ball.
And one of the things that when I'm working with the young our youth, I tell them there's other ways to get like scholarships.
Yeah.
Everybody always thought you could only get a scholarship when you play a sport, athletic scholarships.
Right.
you're going to get some good grades and get just as much money on an academic scholarship than you can get on an athletic scholarship.
Yeah.
So and that's what, like, when I talk to these, I'm like, okay, there are so many different career fields that you can go into. And honestly, one of the things that I love telling girls, like I'm now really been following politics, especially since Obama been in was in office. Like, I would love to just see more of us, not only black girls but black boys in politics.
Yeah.
That's something that I think we're missing, and what people fail to realize as generations to come. What we all know, what Cat Williams said on one of his you like Cat Williams?
Oh yeah.
I love Cat Williams. On one
Yeah.
of his Halloween specials, he said when you look at, I think this was right before Obama got elected. He said when you look at the presidents, you got white, 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 white. And then when you look at the vice presidents, you got white, 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 white. And that's so true.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be dead and gone. And honestly, the way things going, it's like laws are not changing for the better, and it's getting scary, and we have children who's going to have children, so the things and the decisions that we're making now is going to affect our kids in the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
need more people in higher positions when it comes to law that looks like us to help make these decisions for our culture and our generations to come, because right now it ain't looking good.
I don't think when it gets to law, when it comes to law, I don't think they can do anything about it. I don't think they're allowed to. Because I say that because obviously something has to be the problem. Why is it that we get so many millionaires, so many billionaires, but our community is still the way it is? Nobody does anything about it. Everybody, when they get their little money or whatever, they shit, I'm out the hood. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, listen, why we always, why Lil got to be little billionaire?
these days it ain't the same as it used to be.
You're right. It's like when they get their little million or they little billion, the community stays the same. It really, really does. And sometimes, and I get it. Sometimes you can't do everything,
Yeah.
by yourself. So you need that unity. You need a tribe to kind of assist you with building up those particular communities. But kudos to the ones that are doing it and that are trying.
Yeah, you one of them, right?
Yep. Kudos to them and you.
Yeah.
Kudos to us. Just making an impact in
Yeah.
some way. If we just touch one or two, our job is done.
Right.
So that's what it's about.
How can we as a community overcome like the educational barriers that we face?
Oh, one, like my story, educate ourselves.
That's
Even
it.
if you don't want to go to school and learn and get a degree and all that, read, learn your local school district laws and everything they have to offer. And also, one thing I can say, most school districts and schools, they do have a community of parents, counselors, people that can kind of help you if you need help with your student, just helping them navigate through their educational journey. But the good thing is the help is there. It's like going out and getting it and finding the resource and the tool that's going to not only help you but also help your child. Your child right now is the most important thing. We don't want your child to be held back, because had I known what I knew now about my son, because they failed him, I would not have let my son be held back.
Right.
And there's so many different educational laws out there that can kind of help parents with not leaving their child behind. I know there was a law which we don't really talk about anymore, the no child left behind law.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel that with all the resources and tools, and just being an advocate for your child can definitely help you along the way.
I like
You
that.
just got to be and read and look at all the resources and the programs that they have. To be honest with you, them teachers and principals don't want your child standing in school. They want to push them out. And
Yeah.
to be honest, as parents, you want to make sure they just not pushing them out. So they pushing them out just to say, because
Yep.
these schools get money.
Yeah.
They get money for every child that's enrolled. They
Yep.
get money for passing the kids. Man, when I learned
You know
all
what
this
they're
stuff,
similar to, right? The
jail,
prisons.
the
Hmm.
jail, it really is. It
Yep.
is.
The state pay just like they pay for the inmates. They pay for the
They
students.
do. They do. All these students. So if your student, so your student is a reflection of the type of money the school is going to get. So
Yeah.
of course, the teacher is going
Yeah.
to do everything they can to make sure your student is passed, and also to make sure your student is graduated. So just look into all the programs and the resources that they have for your child, and always be an advocate. Don't let them people tell you about what's best for your child and what they think you should do, which that may be true because they are the professional, but just do your own due diligence and just do your own follow-up and your own research. Mm-mm.
If I knew what I know now 10 years ago,
Yep.
man, I'd probably be rich by now. Because I would have learned how to use
You
social
know
media the way, you know what I'm saying?
what?
Man,
And it's like we getting older now. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I have
hold
just really
on.
got into
We
Chat GPT.
we getting older? You said we. We ain't no. We getting younger.
We are
Yeah, we getting how old are you?
47.
No, seriously.
I'm 47.
I know you said you had a sense of humor and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the jokes and all that, but like at some point
We gotta be serious.
we got to be serious about this now. 47?
47. And I get that what you just, and I'm so glad this was recorded. I don't know if it's gonna air or not. I don't
Oh,
care
it's
about you,
going
but
air.
you're gonna have to send this
I
part
ain't
to
I
me.
ain't I
And I
ain't I
tell
ain't cutting that
you,
out.
I get that all the time. And I'm thankful. And that's why I tell people every day I wake up, I thank God for a healthy mind, a healthy body, healthy soul. Like my health is the most important thing to me, and staying healthy.
Yeah.
Because if you're not healthy, you're not able, this mind,
Yeah.
and then of course you want to have the physical, but I pray for this daily.
Yeah.
I pray for my mind first, and then the physical comes next. But this right here, this thing, and like you said, we knew 10 years ago, we would have known that this thing rules this mind.
Was so important.
But it's not too late. We still got chance, and
And
we
I
still.
believe that's the difference with our community. We try to do things with the body. And that's why we always chasing everything, chasing money, chasing relationships, just chasing life. Everybody else do things up here first. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. Once we reverse that, I think that's when we can start changing our community.
You're right, because and like you said, if I knew what I knew 10 years ago versus what I know, and I had to give myself some grace last year. I say, dang, why did it, even this year, like, dang, why did it take this long for me to really understand the power of my thoughts, the
Yes.
power of my mind?
Hmm.
Like, it's like, and I know like a lot of people probably deal with that. Like, I'm like, damn, I'm 47 and I'm just not learning the importance of my mind, like how powerful my decisions and the way I think and how I move and how I navigate all plays a big part in my life, period. Changing
Yep.
your mindset
Yep.
is important.
It will change
It's
everything.
powerful. My perspectives on a lot of things has changed now. But
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you something. One thing I have learned, we don't stop learning until we stop living.
Mm.
Right? We're gonna learn. I just learned something new today. I'm gonna learn something new probably tomorrow, next week. Every day or every other, we're always learning until we stop living. There's no other reason. We're gonna be 70 years old, probably learning something. It's gonna be something new out
Yeah.
then.
Technology constantly advancing and you know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
always something. Uh what's some
Yeah.
advice that you would give to our black women and our black girls today?
Okay, let's start with my black girls. And I know it's if I know it's going to take them a minute to get there because we all always know that, different experiences teaches you different things and you're supposed to learn. But one thing that I wish I had when it came to being a young girl and a black girl was more self-love, more confidence, more encouragement from other people. I didn't get that growing up. So that's why I'm all about empowerment. I'm all about encouragement. I'm all about motivating and inspiring before anything because people really don't understand the importance of being kind, loving, and all of that because that type of stuff goes a long way. You can be having a bad day and somebody can just come up to you and be
Yeah.
kind and loving, and it will change your whole just thing. So for me for me, my advice to them is to just continue to do things to affirm yourself. Love yourself and build your confidence by any means necessary, because me and you both know this society in this world can be hard and you can get broken down just like that.
Yeah.
So my thing to them is just build your confidence daily while you're a child and growing up. When it comes
I
to
like
our
that.
black women, I would have to say my sisters, my black women, we need to support each other more. Um, when it comes to business, when it comes to personal, when it just comes to relation, just anything. Like, I don't want to be in competition with myself. We already have competition enough when it
Yeah.
comes to the other parties and the other races and just other things, period. But we need to stick together so we can build each other up and build more for the generations to come. So yeah, just support each other in any aspect. People don't understand a hey, I can help you with this goes a long way. Just
Yeah.
some type of help, just helping each other get to the next level and not looking at each other as competition. Like we should be happy for the next girl or the next woman, because we are normally not used to seeing this type of elevation and level up when it comes to our race,
Right.
and it's beautiful. Like, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
One of the things that, and I want to just piggyback on this because we're talking about it. Growing up, I used to love watch TV, and I think somebody asked me, when you were growing up, what did you want to look like or be? I used to want to be white. I used to want to be white because on TV they had nice cars, they had nice houses, they had looked like they was going to a good school. Even growing up, we would go to the white neighborhoods. I'm from the projects. I'm a PJ kid. I grew up in the projects, played in the projects, so I understand that their era. But as I got older and realized I don't want to be white, I can have just as much things as they do. But that
Yeah.
comes with their confidence.
Yeah.
But it was just the thing that I experienced because growing up, I wanted to be white because I felt that only white people can achieve certain things. But as you get older and you get that confidence, you're like, I can do the same thing. So yeah.
For me,
What
growing
you want?
growing up was a little different.
You want to be a rapper?
No, I could rap though. Like, I was
Okay.
always good at it, but I never wanted to take that path for some reason. Uh,
Okay.
I was in like all the advanced classes and stuff growing up, so
Okay.
I was a
Good.
lot of times I was the only black person in my class. So
Wow.
yeah, so I didn't really want to be white. I didn't like them too much because they
Well, that's fine.
I saw the early side of it at an early age. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in Arkansas, so
Oh, really?
yeah. So
Yeah, I would never understand. I don't even think I would. It was ever a white person in my class
I wanted to be in class with my
with,
with
with,
my
with my
friends and
people
all of that, but at that time I didn't understand that
while we was
why I was in the other
in that
classes.
class,
You know,
right? And
yeah,
guess what? We live and we learn, and knowing is half the battle. And as long as we're here, we always have an opportunity to correct anything.
yeah.
Not more. I don't look at nothing really as a regret, but possibly a mistake or a decision. That's all. It's just a
Yeah, yeah,
decision,
I mean, I'd have been to jail and all that, you know what I'm saying?
right?
When I went though, it was somebody threw some stuff in my car, and so since it was my car, I had to take
You
the
have to
charge.
take the ball.
I had no
Yeah,
choice. And
I
so
know all about that in life. Yeah,
yeah. And
there's.
when Obama was in office, everything was good for felons. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could get
Oh,
you
wait a minute. You possibly finna have another felon in office, and it's gonna be even better. I'm just saying.
you know
I just had to throw that out there.
this what
So
I don't understand about that whole situation. What happened to the whole documents and everything? Why is they just worried about this hush money, but the documents that he was supposed to have, that just doesn't went away? That's more important, you would think, to the government.
you
But
would think. I honestly just think that they helped his campaign,
yeah, they did.
his
After that
it did.
first debate, they saw it was no chance for Biden. Let me ask you this: Why do you vote Democrat? I always wondered why black people vote Democrat or whatever.
One for me, traditionally, that's one, but that's not the
Okay.
only reason. Two, since Obama been off, I just really just not more so been into, but just kind of just educated and just learning more about it. And when I look at now I'm just have to be honest. Remember, I told you that the decisions that we're making and different things, people being in office,
Yeah.
is going to affect generations to come. And just when I look at just the democracy of Democrats over the years, I just personally feel that Democrats have helped more Black people than the Republicans. Now, when it comes to business wise, I feel that the Republican Party kind of like helps
Ooh.
all people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's like, no, I'm saying it ain't all black. It helps more all people than it do just black people.
Okay.
So that's the one of the main reasons I do it, because I just look at just things that have transpired over the last 30 or 40 years.
Okay.
Um Directly affecting me, um, they both have helped. But I do want to just say this. What people really need to understand, the presidential debate is very important,
Yeah.
but our local
That's more important.
government is more important. And I want to put this out. I have an African American son who's gotten in trouble. He recently got in some trouble, and he had to get a bail bondsman to get out, and we have to come up with the money or whatever.
Hmm.
But for some reason on my news feed, I don't know why this popped up on my news feed, but Government Kemp passed a bill here that went into effect on July 1st, SB Bill 63, for adding more crimes to this bill to where you can no longer get a bail bondsman to get you out of jail, cash only. And I set my son here and I told him, I say, remember you got locked up for that weed? I say, remember we had to come up with 10% of what your bond was? I say, no. With this new law that just passed, we would have had to pay for cash. So we live in a state where they're passing bills like this to mess up African American people,
Yep.
minorities,
Yep.
because they know they don't have the money.
Yep.
So things like that, I'm now really honestly, the presidential debate, whatever, I think that's like generations and few, but this local government stuff, that's the most important thing right now. It really is. And people need to understand that. I'm a part of this National Black Business Conference
I saw that.
that's coming here. Yeah, so I'm on the committee of that. And so they have, it's what, 126 years or something. I don't know. Not
Oh,
today.
I know you gotta get out of here. We got one more. I got one more. It
Okay.
ain't. It's a lot of my questions just been improv because we don't went way off what I was wanting to do.
I
But
know, right? That's what
I
happened.
recently also had a friend pass from cancer in
Oh, I'm sorry.
December. Uh, I know that we were speaking about that. Is you want to
Yeah.
talk about that?
Yes, I do. I want to hit on it right now. And you know what? I'm about to put this in my calendar. And matter of fact, when we follow up, hold me accountable because I'm about to say this on camera and air. You don't have to air. I don't care. So my great grandmother died of cancer. My grandmother died of cancer. My mother had cancer. My little sister had cancer. Then after that, my auntie got cancer, my uncle got cancer, and I have been dreading to go get the test done to check my blood to see is it hereditary. I forgot the name of it, and I really need to get over my fears and really just go get it to be proactive. Because, like I told you, I pray daily against diseases for my health and everything. And from what I just showed you, how 4 generations within my immediate family, from great grandmother, grandmother, mother, sister, has had cancer, and I just be thankful that it hasn't hit me, and I don't want it to. But I do want to be proactive and go get the test done, to where I've been hearing saying I can go get a test done to see is it within my bloodstream. But since we're talking about it, I don't. I've lost people to cancer. friends, family, we all have experienced it on both ends. And honestly, I don't know if there is anything that we can do besides praying and trying to eat healthy to combat it and not have it, because I've known healthy people to get cancer. So I don't. I pray to God that's not in my cards.
Yeah.
I do. I don't, but I am thankful that I have aunties that are nurses that are currently working on oncology and the cancer. So I am thankful that we are getting more survivors
Yeah.
and cures when it comes to certain cancers. So I am seeing that the survival rate is good compared to where it was 10 years. So I hope the
Yeah.
next 10 years will continue to get a higher
It
increase when
increases.
it comes to
Yeah.
survive. Yeah, on all, whether it's breast, prostate when it comes to men,
Right.
colon cancer, cervical cancer, brain cancer, liver cancer, lung cancer, through all of just cancer, period. It's scary when we hear it. So yeah, that's my thing. I don't wish it on nobody. I don't. And it's but you know what would do it make you think, and I know we have to wrap up and go, but do you remember, like, even like growing up when we were younger, I never even heard of the word cancer. And so it's like within the last 20, I
What?
want to say the last 15 years, no,
Yeah.
20 years. It's like it came out of nowhere.
And it just blew up. And it's getting worse. It's in the food. I mean, how can we miss it? At first, it used to just be about cigarettes. If you didn't smoke, you didn't have to worry about cancer.
Yep.
Now, it's people that don't smoke, don't.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they work out.
Don't dream, don't work.
And my homegirl, the one that just passed in December, she didn't smoke.
What,
Didn't.
do you know what kind of cancer she had?
I don't know what kind. I just know when she told me she was at stage 4.
Mm.
I can't remember what kind. She had called me and told me, but I was like at that time getting all of this stuff going, and so I had
Mm-hmm.
kind of like put it off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so when I
I
got
get it.
back to Texas, I hit her up, and that's when we had went to dinner or whatever, and she told me, and she was like, "Yeah." By that time, it was at stage 4.
Too much. Oh,
And
yeah.
so, but she still was, okay and everything. It was just that last session took a toll on her, and that's when her hair started falling out. She lost weight, and
And
that
she
was
passed away.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like when it gets to stage 4, it's really, from
yeah.
what I've heard, it's nothing that we can do. That's just something I don't want to experience.
Me neither.
I don't. Everybody that I've known that have had cancer, and even beat it, even my sister, my mom, my cousins, my friends, that there are long term effects that come with that from
Yeah,
the radiation of chemos.
yeah.
So it's like you're constantly going to be reminded and constantly going to be dealing with it. And I honestly don't know what we can do besides try to eat healthy to try to not get it.
So,
I don't know.
what do you think about this lab meat, this lab grown, this lab grown food? Speaking of eating healthy, you know,
You know what? I just pray on my food. That's why
that's
you pray before you eat, right?
that's
Father God,
all
I
we
come
can
to
do because we don't know
you.
what we eat no more.
Now I'm about to start incorporating. Lord, I don't know where this food came from, but I ask that you make sure that it's like, no, seriously. Like, I think I am about to start incorporating that into my. It ain't just going to be Jesus wept when I right before I eat no more.
You
I
got to
forgot
get
to say, Lord,
specific
I
now.
don't. No, you have to be specific in
Yeah,
every prayer you do.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start saying, Lord, I don't know where this food came from, but I'm going to ask that you. I think I'm incorporating to my prayer before I eat. No, seriously, I am. I have no comment when it comes to lab because I probably have 8.
I know I have by now. I know I didn't.
But one thing about me, you ever watched what's it called? The health movie that's on Netflix, What the Health? Well, that's a movie they said about the different type of foods where they come from, and everybody's saying once you see that movie, you're never going to eat certain things. I'm not watching it
I,
because
what? I,
I'm not at the point of my life mentally where I can just say I'm
nah,
not.
because if I
But
find out something been rat this whole time,
exactly, I'm not. I would never eat again. So I'm just reserving that part of my life. Maybe the next 2 or 3 years I'll get. But no, like I've never. I love sea. That's my favorite food, seafood. But I don't want to see a live shrimp because I probably would never eat shrimp again. I don't want to see a live chicken anywhere. I would never eat probably chicken again. So I'm reserving that part because if I see it, I'm not eating it.
Oh man, yeah, I don't want to watch it.
No, I'm not going to watch it because I'm not ready to give up certain things right now.
Nah.
Yeah.
How can we
So yeah.
follow you?
Okay, you can follow me. So we in business.
Mm-hmm.
We have a business page and we have a personal page.
Okay.
My business page is Educated Girls Rock on all social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And my personal page, I'm real, personal on TikTok and Instagram, and it's Nisha is one of a kind. So, I try to separate them because one thing in reference to social media, I don't like following people personally, and that's all I see is your business stuff. Like I think social media is to be social, and so you see a lot of my personality when you follow my personal page versus my business
Right.
page.
Right.
So yeah, that's
Right.
how you can follow me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you got going on right now you want to mention?
Yeah, definitely. We talked about the Capricorn Chronicles podcast that I'm working on, and I need to finally, people like, okay, you need to put a date to it. And I've been procrastinating because it is a part of me that want to get over my fear. So that's why I'm thankful for Men Love PR. Thank you to Steven for booking this for me because I told him I wanted to get over my fear. I don't like speaking. I don't like
Wait, so
speaking. I,
this your first time doing this?
no, it's not.
Oh, I was like,
It's
hold on,
not.
I know I'm not your first, right?
No, it's not. But this is something that I don't feel comfortable doing.
Why?
So by me booking the podcast is because I'm gonna have to start doing it. So this is allowing me to learn, grow, get over my fears and different things like that when it comes to speaking and talking to different people.
It's not
But why
easy.
are you laughing?
It ain't
Huh?
easy. I know that feeling because hey, I still got to get over getting on a stage and speaking in front of it. It was crazy because when I
See,
was rapping, I could get up there and rock a mic, but to get up there and speak is
that's
totally
different.
different.
And guess what? I can relate to you with that because when I'm on stage, I rap before. When I'm on stage and rap, no, not nervous in my flow. When I'm speaking to these young girls, comfortable. But when it comes to this type stuff, totally freeze up.
So you was nervous today?
Yes,
What?
because you just never know what to expect. But
Yeah.
if this was a really good conversation, it was very intellect. I learned a lot of different things. I think it definitely flowed, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that we didn't have any dead moments.
Yeah.
We were just sitting here looking at each other and different things like that. But it was,
You
and
know,
one thing I do like about it. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. I
One
thought
thing
you
I
was.
do like about it, I'm glad that it was a combination of a lot of different topics because what I want people to understand. Like, I don't want to get on a podcast and just talk about business.
Yes.
My mental and my emotional state of mind is under attack right now, and right now that's the most important thing. So being able to talk to you about a realm of a whole different topics, that was more fulfilling to me. We just didn't stick to one specific topic, so I appreciate that.
I just learned something. I appreciate that.
What?
Cause
What
now
you like?
look, because this is not easy, like I said, and I'm learning as I go. You know what I'm saying? You only
Yeah.
like my fourth or maybe fifth interview,
Okay.
and I'm starting to get like bigger names and guests and stuff like that. Like, yeah,
Big,
like
big, big name. Not no little names. Don't look
no,
Nisha
no,
me. I am
no,
big Nisha.
no. Yeah, Big Nisha. I was like, educated girls rock. I'm like, oh snap, I got daughters. So for me, I'm like,
Right,
okay,
right. Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So to me,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you a celebrity in my eyes. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
that's
So
exactly, exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
but it's a learning process because like you said, I had to learn how to do that with the topics.
Mhm.
I just went on this interview, right? This guy interviewed me up here. That's why I'm here in New York. I had did him for my show, and he wanted to do me on his show. So
Okay.
I came up here to do his show, right? And the way he did it taught me a whole lot about format and you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff. So
So that word, like I'm thankful for that because I don't feel that a person should be talking about the same thing and the same topic for an hour. Now, if
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
10, 15 minutes, like when you go to panelists, they asking when you on a panel, they ask you different questions. That's why panelists be more engaging and more fun. You want to learn because everybody is answering or it's different topics. So when you come on these podcasts, even though, like I say, I'm working on mine with Captain Kirk, but I'm strategically putting different questions in there, even though it's about education, your career, your school, but I'm putting things that we're going to get emotional.
yeah,
Did you want to drop out of school? How did
yeah,
you overcome? Did you get bullied? So that opens up all those extra topics,
yeah.
when it comes to a certain platform.
Well, I
So
can't
yeah,
wait to see what it's about. I'm gonna make sure my girls watch it. They need to anyway.
yeah, yes, definitely. I'm gonna get over the fears and really, you know what? I did do something. I bought a mic the other day, so I'm excited.
Oh, that's the first step. That's the first
First step,
step.
I was gonna say, I did. I bought a mic.
That
I
was the
bought a
first
mic.
thing I did, and once I bought the mic, I knew I couldn't turn back.
Yep, I bought a mic. So
So
it's
that's
coming
what's
along. I
up.
can't wait. Definitely keep you posted. So I appreciate everything.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show, stopping by, spending
Thank
your
you.
time with so much going on and stuff like that. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, Miss Nisha Glenn.
Thank you.